Okay, last one, I promise. And then I'm just gonna move along with my day. But I was thinking about, I was reflecting on my life, and like I feel like a lot of people have a lot of internal conflict, and I know I did for a number of years, and it was really confusing, and I didn't know why this was happening. It was like I was always at war with myself. And then obviously, things in my external experience would appear to mirror that. Ooh, since I'm on that subject, that quote or saying that everyone that appears is a reflection of you? I agree and disagree with that statement. Do you know why? Okay, so everyone that comes into your experience is a reflection of you. I agree with that when something feels really aligned. Does that make sense? I also agree with that statement when something doesn't feel aligned, but then that's not applicable to everyone. I feel like there's people that come into your life, has nothing to do with you, and you're just there to observe. I don't know, because okay, so how do I explain this? I know that's so confusing. uh, and I think I'm a simple person, but you know what? I'm everything, and so are you. You know what I mean? You can't just box yourself into one category or another. You like everything. And I feel like when you do box yourself in, that's when you create conflict. That's when you create discord. That's when you create um, division within yourself. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not this way, I'm that way. You already created a division within yourself, which is, apt to create conflict, because you're just going to be like, I'm not this way, I'm that way, and I'm right, you're wrong. Everybody is valid, and everybody is valid in their viewpoint, in their perspective, in the way they choose to be. It's based on what they want to learn, you know? You may not be there, you may not have experienced their experience, but everything within them is within you. But anyhow, where was I going with this? Okay, so I feel like there's people that I've met that feel right. Like, so in that way I feel like, okay, I've met an aspect of myself outside of myself that is in perfect alignment. And then there's other people in my life that I feel conflict with, and I look at them as teachers. Like, okay, this person is creating conflict in my life, or what I perceive to be conflict. Like, what am I supposed to learn from them? And then there's people who, I don't know, they don't really create conflict for me, but they don't feel in alignment with me, but I see them and I understand them, and I don't know, I proactively choose not to participate in their experience or let them into my experience, really. But I see that they're there, you know? I don't know. Does that make sense? Who knows? I don't know if I make sense, like, almost all the time. I'm just like spouting thoughts out. I'm spouting thoughts out in order to process and digest it. Anyhow, I started this recording with something. I totally forgot. Anyways, yeah, so, oh, I've been noticing, because I've been kind of like reflecting on the people who are predominantly played a vital role in my current experience. And I, for a lot of the time, and this isn't applicable to all, but there's a couple that come to mind. I've felt some underlying conflict with these people, and I couldn't understand why. I'm like, why do I, and I'm an inquisitive person, I'm super curious, I'm gonna ask why. I'm not just gonna like settle for, like, I'm not gonna settle for just like I don't know. I'm going to ask why, because I want to know why. But why? Why do I feel this way? Why are they in my experience? What am I supposed to learn? Why have I attracted them? Obviously, they're energetically being magnetized towards me so I could see something. What am I supposed to see? What am I supposed to know? What am I supposed to master? You know what I mean? So I've come to like this huge revelation that they are the opposing part of me that I need to integrate. What a blessing. So yeah, so like, you know, we have different operating systems and our minds are obviously wired differently, and we obviously process and perceive and navigate in completely different ways on opposing ends of the spectrum. And of course, you know, if you're still like kind of stuck in your mind or your ego, you're going to be like, you're right, I'm wrong, you know, but no one's right, no one's wrong. Everyone is valid. And everyone has something to teach you if you're willing to learn. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I considered myself a student of life. So, I'm going to learn the lesson. No matter how difficult it is, no matter how much I don't understand it, I want to understand it. So, yeah, so there's a couple of people predominantly that come to mind that I've had underlying conflicts with, but I absolutely love them and they're vital parts of my life. And I just couldn't understand, like, how can you love someone, but how can they create so much like conflict, like underlying conflict? And how can I get to a place of peace and resolve? You know, oh, okay, well, I have to understand this. I have to learn the lesson. So, yeah, I've come to the conclusion that these people are on the opposing spectrum of where I currently am at, and they have a lot to teach me and I have a lot to teach them. It's just you have to be willing you have to have a willingness and an openness to become expansive, you know, and to kind of like try to like I said, integrate their perspective into it's a collaboration. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to collaborate. We're not here to like fight. I mean, you can if that's where you're at. I mean, that just takes so much energy. And then what is resolved at the end of it, you know, when you spend all that time fighting? On another video, I said I guess I was fighting a lot of things for most of my life, and so I got to a point of complete exhaustion. I just couldn't fight anymore. I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. There has to be a better way. Oh, okay, just relinquish control. Relinquish like operating from the ego and the mind. Get into the heart, get into the soul, get into the intuition. Things start flowing better. You know what I mean? That's not our fault. We've been like programmed to operate from the mind predominantly. You know what I mean? And I'm not crucifying the mind or the ego. They obviously have, you know, a role to play in all of this, you know. But when you're predominantly functioning from that and you're kind of like excluding the other aspects of yourself, I mean, it's very one-sided. It's very one-dimensional. You have to become multi-dimensional. You need to start, you know, getting everything to work together, to collaborate, to create your reality. And what is your reality? What is reality? Is reality real or is it an illusion? All of the above. But you know, you choose. You want to excuse me. You want to proceed in chaos, or do you want to proceed in peace? And you know, like this has plagued me for most of my life, you know, because I was constantly conflicted with many things. But then as I started to understand it more, I'm like, oh, I don't really have to fight. I can actually relinquish control of trying to control everything and anything, and you know, just kind of like look within myself and see what the issue is, and then, you know, it just kind of all makes sense. So the people outside of you are basically internal projections externalized, and they're there to teach you something. And then there's other people who are just there to kind of like, I want to say they're fillers. I know I don't know, that may not be the right term, but you know what I mean. But people who predominantly take up your attention are definitely teachers, you know. I guess the fillers can be teachers. Freak, everything and everyone is a teacher. But anyways, the ones that I think predominantly take your attention are definitely reflections of yourself that are there to show you something and teach you something. But yeah, it's all about integration. It's all about collaboration. You know, nobody is wrong or right. Everybody is completely valid in their point of view and their perspective. Just depends on how much work they've done. Oh yeah, and on another topic, sorry, this is running long. I've noticed everything is so paradoxical. I think if you think too hard on it, you just confuse yourself. So just, you know, just go with the flow. You know, go with what presents itself to you at the moment and sit with it as long as you want to until you gain a higher understanding and awareness of it. That's how I operate, you know. But shucks, I was gonna say something. Oh, so in any moment you can take the easy route or the hard route. You can choose the path of resistance or least resistance. You know, you get to choose in every moment. I feel like, you know, there's a fine line, you know, the middle path that you need to traverse if you really want to like approach things in a balanced and holistic way. Because yeah, you can be like, oh, everything is love and light. I used to do that. And it's a very like distorted way of being, because everything is not love and light. There's some darkness in there too, you know what I mean? There's darkness, there's dark, there's light, there's everything, you know what I mean? Anyhow, it's there for the contrast, and they both complement each other, and they both have a function, and they both collaborate in order to create what it is that we're currently residing in. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm going to stop talking because I'm like going off on a tangent, and I really, really don't know if anything that I said made sense. And who cares? If you learned something cool, if you didn't, that's so cool too. Blessings to one and all. Amen.